So let's talk about community.
Yeah.
So community is the first in our COAT acronym, right?
Yeah.
Community, outreach, accountability, transcendence. These are the things that are going to help see Allen Creek through into whatever's next for the church in this rapidly changing environment. So let's talk about why community came out of our evaluative process.
Two big things happened here where we looked at ourselves and saw one thing that we had seen a lot before, and that was a lack of warmth. And different words had been attached to it from time to time. One was aloof, and I can't remember. Well, another was anonymity. And one of those, anonymity, was something we specifically strove for.
Yeah.
So we had to realize, I think, down the road that, let's talk, Dan, for a while. Why did we value anonymity? Why would we even think that a church would want people to be anonymous?
Oh, we saw that as a real cultural reality, and especially in the Pacific Northwest, and it was a gift to the spiritual seeker coming in the door, because one of the great fears, I felt it, I still feel it. If I go to a new church, I'm a pastor. I've been a pastor for 25 years. I go to a new church, I don't want a bunch of attention paid to me as a new guy.
Don't pin a rose on me.
Please don't, hey, raise your hand if you're new. I don't want that.
Yeah.
So we really said, let's not do that to people. Let's let them have their anonymity. And that's a way to love them. That's a way to meet them where they are. It was very intentional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then what changes? I think that we started saying that the average irreligious person is still probably terrified of a church experience, but they are also being pushed from behind of a culture that's now inundated with technology that's really raiding us of a lot of the natural connections we had in a society that was more physically connected before social media, the invention of cell phones. Think about that. Like AC3 has been through. Like somebody went through the invention of space travel. That was your grandparents and mine. We went through the invention of cell phone technology in the middle of AC3 being planted in 95 and today in 2022.
Yeah.
So that changed, as everybody knows. So we had to realize that our valuing of anonymity could hurt. And it's not like we didn't know that, we didn't want people to remain on the outskirts forever. We just knew that we didn't want to be high pressure.
It's like any other value. If you take it too far, it ceases to be a value.
Yeah, exactly.
It becomes a vice.
Exactly. So that we were giving people such space to make their own decisions regarding their own spiritual journey and stuff like that, that it could sometimes be deemed as not being attentive enough to guide. I need you to help me. What's the next thing I do here? I made it to church, by golly,
right?
Through all the obstacles that the culture would set up for me and the church's failures would set up for me. What would I, help me? What do I do next?
Yeah.
So that was a big deal in C. And then warmth then just sort of came out of this to saying we have to double down on just being a place that exudes the welcome of God.
Right. And I think, too, a big part of it is a phrase that we learned in this process was the Seattle freeze.
Mm-hmm.
And we recognized that this isn't just something that's going on in Allen Creek, that Allen Creek is planted in a larger culture, the Pacific Northwest in particular,
right,
where getting to know each other, where, social connections and whatnot are not natural.
Right.
You talk to people from the South or from the Midwest who talk about, you talk and you...
Privacy fence isn't a thing.
That's not a thing. Yeah, you go to Iowa, there's a bunch of houses there's not fences
Track
in between
homes,
them.
no fences.
The kids run around and whatnot. I've heard it said that, we're polite but aloof.
Yeah.
It's like, hi, welcome, don't come any closer.
Yeah.
That sort of a thing.
Right.
So, but yet we've got people who are hungering for connection. And we recognize that it's the nature of the church, the body of Christ. Part of the definition is deep, intimate, personal connection.
Yep.
And we were failing
Yep.
at that. And we've, I can say this too, as my first role here at Allen Creek was the small group guy. And so that was about building little environments for people to connect. And for 25 years, it's been, I'll tell you people, it's like pushing a rock up a hill, trying to get Northwesterners together to be vulnerable and to share life together. So we're working in an environment that's difficult, which is the Pacific Northwest. And then we've got a value a core value of wanting people to be able to kind of set their own pace. And we realized that after years, it's a status quo.
Yeah.
You get in a habit. And something like building community just kind of falls to the wayside a little bit.
Yeah.
And so we really saw a lot of the things that Vital Church reported to us, downside. They gave us praises, but a lot of the things that came out as a criticism or something that needed to be addressed came back to this idea.
Yeah.
And we just need to spend time together.
Yeah.
We need to be more concerned with just this
Yeah.
back and forth than we do with building a program or doing a
Yeah.
thing, or right.
So small groups is a big deal, which is why we're hugely emphasizing e-groups in the post-Vital Church era. But more than that, medium-sized gatherings. You probably have noticed this, and we're trying to really move the ball forward by encouraging AC3ers to gather for game nights and outreach opportunities, and leverage your e-group to do a little missional activity, and those sorts of things are all trying to bring family to an AC3 environment that has been so outsider focused that it was, kind of trying to be very super, sensitive,
Yeah.
and so sensitive that we could sometimes miss that opportunity to just say, let us be warm, let us be a family, let us be welcoming. And then we talked about not being adequately grounded, and how critical is relationships, like what doesn't happen in the auditorium every week.
Or online.
Or
That's one of the-
online.
We're so glad we can live stream,
Yeah.
but one of the things we can't do. We can't connect.
Yeah, we have to. So it's not like we didn't do that, but it's just the doubling down of the focus on it that's been a huge part of the C.
Yeah. And I mean, even where you see us sitting right now is a result of that.
Yep.
I mean, we
Mhm.
invested a significant amount of money and effort to get this space more welcoming, where we want people to be able to sit and connect with each
Right.
other rather than just move through what we originally designed. It should be a theater lobby.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the original architectural plan. We want this to feel like a theater lobby. We want that space to feel like a theater. Well,
Yeah.
now we realized, that's not a place that encourages connection
You're right.
and warmth.
Mhm.
This needs to be a hotel lobby.
Mhm.
This needs to be a place where it's comfy. You want to sit down.
And
We
you
have coffee mugs.
stay a while.
Stay a while. That sort of
Stay a
thing.
while. Yeah.
So it's a big challenge. So that is the C in COAT.